What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement, and we are back here in the basement. We're back here in the basement before we get into this incredible comeback win by the Lions. Subscribe, bell notice, like button, drop your comments down below, and get ready. Gonna go at it, number one versus number two. That's what I said I know there's a lot of Blues fans, and a lot of people said, no, John, I would rather have the history of the Blues and Collingwood. That's who everybody would want in there. But I said you want number one versus number two. It's hard for me because I told you guys I'm a Mason Cox fan, American. The story he has, going over to another country that he had never known anybody over there, doesn't have any family over there, doesn't have job over there. He went over there to play his sport and took a chance. He left a six-figure job here in America to go over there to try something out that he had never played before. And he's a star, so of course I support him. But I'm going for the Lions. I am going for the Lions. From day one, I told everybody. I'm going for the Lions. And that's it. Now they're both here. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. What a game. Now, you guys know you're about 12 to 15 hours ahead of me, so I actually just ended up watching that game this morning. I had to record it because it was on like 3 in the morning here. So I recorded it, watched it. I thought that whole first quarter, I said, well, going to be going for the Pies now because I can't go for the Blues. I was going to go for Cox and the Pies because that first quarter, a 30-point lead in that first quarter by the Blues. The Blues dominated, and I mean dominated. It was the worst quarter for a start for the Lions at all this year at the GABA. 1 goal, 8 behinds. No, not even 8 behinds. Excuse me, 1 goal. 1 goal. That's it, and 2 behinds, I believe it was. Anyway, they walked out of there with 8 points is what I'm getting at. 31-8 was the end of that first quarter. The Blues dominated the corridors, dominated on defense, dominated. Every time the Lions got the ball, they had them all over the place. It was chaotic. It was chaotic, man. The Blues came out strong. They came out tough. I was worried that Charlie Curnow may have had... Didn't he get an ankle injury against the Power? I thought he might have come out a little bit less than that because his last final, he scored 1 goal? I think he scored 1 goal. So I wasn't sure how well he was going to be playing. Cripps was completely shut down by Dunkley in this game. But that first quarter, man, 31-1. And it was a rush behind, if I remember correctly. It was a rush behind for the Lions, so it wasn't even like on point. Wasn't even like on point for them. Like nothing was working. Nothing was working for them. If I was to tell you at the start of this game that Charlie Cameron would be almost non-existent in this game, you would think the Lions had no shot at winning. Archie, non-existent. These guys were non-existent. Cameron didn't even touch the ball in the first quarter. That's how dominant the Blues were. Charlie Cameron didn't even touch the ball in the first quarter. That being said, in the second quarter, he had a couple of opportunities. He missed a goal. He missed a goal in the second quarter. And he was close. I don't know how many meters away he was, but he was close enough that Charlie usually hits those. And he was caught behind on a breakaway to get another one. So it was like a quarter and a half. Cameron was completely non-existent. The Blues, you guys know me. I always take my notes. They dominated inside the 50. It was 11-2. 11-2. 58% of the time they spend in the forward 50. 58% of the time. I said, man, the Blues are going to win this game. Then I realized from watching them, again, this is my first footy season, so from watching a lot of footy, I realized that it is you guys know I always compare it to hockey. In a lot of aspects, it really is hockey. But the score swings are more NBA. More NBA. 20, 25-point leads disappear like that in the NBA. Disappear like that. And trust me, the Knicks, when they're up 20-25, usually end up blowing those games. So I've seen it with my own Knicks right here. All due respect to Patrick Ewing. Those teams in the 90s didn't blow leads like that. Anyway, the tide turned come that second quarter. The tide turned. And you know what I think really turned it? Using my good old hockey analogies, Eric Hipwood and Charlie Cameron in the beginning of that quarter just started shoving. They started getting aggressive. They started getting in the Blues players' faces. And I don't condone all of it. Like Cameron, I don't know who the player was on the ground, but Cameron was just kept shoving his body down, his shoulders and his head down into the ground. Hipwood's grabbing jerseys, grabbing jumpers, and everybody's moving around. That in hockey, when the team is down and out, the player on the team starts a fight. And it inspires the whole team. It gets everybody like, "Raw, let's go, let's get in there. We're still in this thing." Guy for the New York Rangers' name is Jacob Trouba. We call him the Trouba Train. You want to take a ride on the Trouba Train? You can look it up. Because he lays people out. And he's the captain of the team. And when it comes time, when his team is down, he starts fights with the other team. He'll check somebody. He'll lay somebody out. It gets everybody fired up. Because from that moment on, from that beginning of that second quarter moment on, that second quarter was complete flip from what the Blues were doing to them in the first quarter. That second quarter went crazy. It was 5-1, the Lions. They out-dominated every aspect of the Blues. They were fast in the corridors, and this went for the rest of the game, really, guys. They were fast in the corridor. They kept dominating right up the gut, right into the teeth of the Blues defense. They kept them going the whole time. There's some crazy numbers here, too. First of all, they scored 3 goals in a row. Hipwood scored one at the end of the first quarter, which kind of turned it a little bit. It's like, okay, we're down 31-8. All right, let's kind of get back into this thing. Then McInerney came in, got a goal. Then Danaher got a goal. Then all of a sudden it's 32-20, 3 goals in a row. 3 goals in a row. The physicality by the Blues up to that point was incredible. They were jarring hits. They were forcing the Lions to fumble. They were forcing the line to make bad passes. What happened, Blues fans? Bag of Dave, all due respect to your team and all due respect to how much you support this channel, my man. I see your comments in there. Thank you so much, man. He is a Blues diehard fan. Much respect to your team, Dave. I really thought that you were going to be playing against the Pies. I really did. And I know you wanted it badly, man. So thank you for always supporting the channel. Everybody, Bag of Dave is a great Aussie and a great supporter of this channel amongst so many others. So my heart goes out to you, brother. I get it. What happened to the physicality from the Blues? What happened to the disruptiveness? What happened to making the Lions make bad passes, bad decisions, fumbling the ball when every time they got the ball it was fumbled? They couldn't get anything going, and then the Lions just flipped it. They flipped it on them. They attacked in packs. They surrounded. The numbers in here were crazy. They were awakened up. I got them written right here. By the end of the half, the disposals, 186-171, Lions. Clearances, 23-16, Lions. Contested possessions, 78-73, Lions. So by the end of the half, it was 42-39 Lions. I mean, you're talking about 31-8. They only scored 1 goal and 1 behind that period. 2 behinds the Blues. That's it. It's like a complete flip of what they did to the Lions in the first quarter. 5-1. Insane. Danaher took over in that one. Third quarter. There was a situation in the third quarter that I found a little funny. Now this goes against my own team. Dunkley undercut Curnow so badly. If you guys saw it, and I'm sure you remember what I'm talking about, he undercut Curnow and his whole upended him. And there was no free kick on that. Why? Why was there no free kick on that? It was kind of like the suplex Lloyd put on Myacek at the end of the, end of the first quarter, I think it was, in the Pies and in their matchup. He put the Giants player Lloyd put a suplex on Myacek, no free kick. Curnow got completely undercut, no free kick. Why? Why did that not happen? I didn't understand that one. So anyway, the Lions jumped out in that third quarter, and Cripps, what is up with Cripps, man? That's a mental error to give a 50-meter penalty to McInerney. That was just a mental error. Why is he kicking the ball? Why is he making the situation worse? 50-meter penalty, now the third quarter. They already took the momentum in the first half. In that second quarter, especially, the Lions took the momentum. Now you're going to let them open up the third with a 50-meter penalty? You're going to give them another freebie? That was a mental error. That's emotions. That's letting the game get away from you. And from that point on, it was a campsite. Bring your tents, bring your dogs, the burgers, the beers, the coolers, because the Lions are setting up in their end after that. The next 16 out of 19 scores were done by the Lions. We're talking full campsite in that end. Full campsite. And sometimes a mental error, and then everything just happens like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like you're trying to stop a tidal wave coming at you, and they couldn't. The tide had turned. They want their undefeated to continue at the Gabba. They want the undefeated play to continue at the Gabba, and they took over. The Blues hung around. The problem with me that I saw with them, they couldn't capitalize on any turnovers. They were still hanging around. They got within 11, then there was 16, they were hanging around, but they couldn't capitalize. What is with Curnow missing free kick? He missed a free kick. There was a couple other guys that missed free kicks. There's other plays that they had right in the Lions' end on their 50, and they couldn't get anything done, not even a behind. They couldn't get anything accomplished. They didn't capitalize like they were in the first quarter. What happened to that poise from the first quarter? Absolutely insane. They couldn't convert on any interceptions, couldn't convert on Lions' mistakes, which weren't many. Weren't many in the second half, but the ones that did come along couldn't do anything. The last 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Blues yielded 2 goals and two another chances. They were desperate. They had the lines painted in their own, and they're on the defensive I-50. They have them painted down there, and they couldn't score anything. What's with the missing on the free kicks? What's with the missing off of marks? It's absolute insanity. There was no in-game adjustments at all for the Blues when the tides turned. I didn't see any. Did you? Did you guys see any in-game adjustments? I didn't. They were getting killed in the corridor. Killed! I don't know how else to explain it. I'm just telling you what I saw. They had 74 turnovers. That's the point I was looking for. 74 turnovers by the Blues in this game. Now, unlike the Demons, where they had 92 turnovers against the Demons, the Lions, number 1 in the AFL, they convert on 58% of turnovers brought their way. 58%. And they punished the Blues for their turnovers. Punished them, made them pay for it. They made them pay for it. Now, I'm going to give a couple of shout-outs here. Coleman can distribute that ball like nobody's business, man. 21 disposals with an 84% efficiency. 84%! And he had 10 marks. Coleman is like there's a guy that plays for the New York Rangers, Ryan Lindgren. Doesn't have all the big stats, when it comes to scoring goals and things like that. Coleman, it's called an intangible player. These guys do the intangibles. There. Coleman was there, and he was distributing the ball perfectly in this game. Perfectly. Cameron ended up, like I said, 10 disposals and 1 goal. He was non-existent. Charlie Cameron was non-existent. So if that was part of the Blues' plan, which I'm sure it's every team's plan to shut him down, they did it. And look at that. Look what happened. Lachie Neal had... By the way, everybody, see, I learned another thing, Aussie thing. I called him Latchy for so long. It's Lachie. Thank you. It's Lachie Neal. I told you I chop names up, and it's not on purpose. Anyway, Lachie Neal had 23 disposals. He had no goals. So there was I think McInerney, Danaher, they both had 2 apiece. And somebody else had 2, and I can't think of it right now. But whatever the case, the Lions found a way to win. They came together as a team, found a way to win, because once they got the lead, it just kept worse and worse and worse. And the Blues had chances to turn that around. Again, they could not convert on their turnovers. I'm talking in circles now, so let's wrap this up. Fagan, I couldn't remember the other coach's name from Carlton and Essendon, but John Wannell, I hope that's right. He joins John Wannell as the only other coach ever to go to a grand final without ever playing in a VFL or AFL game. That's an incredible stat. That came across the bottom of the screen. I didn't make it up. I just put down what I saw on the screen. That's an amazing stat. Big shout out to Chris Fagan. What a year. What a year. Had a couple of flops in there. Had a couple of weird games. The Western Bulldogs, I remember that. That was way back in round 3 maybe. But they looked so bad there. And then the Lions, too bad Will Ashcroft can't be a part of this. Too bad he can't be a part of this. I wonder if he's still going to get goal of the year, because that kick he had way back was outstanding. Outstanding. I don't know, it was round 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. You guys, if you haven't seen it, YouTube it. That should still be the goal of the year, or however you word it. Kick of the year. No, it would be the goal of the year. Has to be the goal of the year. Couldn't have been one better. You have one? Let me know. Let me know if there was one better than that. So anyway, the Lions remain undefeated at the Gabba. It's the first grand final since '04 when they were dominating back to back to back. And I know they lost that one in '04. Collingwood, I'm sure, wants to get a lot of revenge. We are going to be doing previews. We're going to be doing grand final reviews, past grand final reviews, leading up to the grand final between the Lions and Collingwood. Here we are, guys. We are here. This is crazy for me. Everybody's asking me, who am I going to go for? I'm going for the Lions. I don't even hate Collingwood. I don't hate them at all. They're passionate fans. They've got amazing passionate fans. I've heard opinions on all types. No, those fans are passionate. That's how I am with my Jets, my Yankees, my Knicks, and my Rangers. We get down, we get busy, and we bring it. We bring it real. So I respect the fandom of both sides, and I know Collingwood gets a lot of flack, and they should, and their fans are intense, and they love their team. I get it. I love it, and I get it. Can't wait for this grand final. It's going to be amazing. Subscribe, bell notice, like button, drop your comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of me. We are leading up to the grand final. I can't wait. I cannot wait. This is an amazing first footy season for me, and I am out.